PlayStation just held their big State of Play event for June 2026. Was it the biggest, craziest State of Play like some people were hyping it up to be? Did we get some interesting new announcements? Yes, so let's talk about them now. Let's get started off with number 10. A surprise announcement was Stuntman Hollywood. Yes, the return of the Stuntman franchise. For some of you that don't know, this franchise originated on the PS2 and was a ton of fun, focused around stunt driving more than racing or anything like that. Stuntman Hollywood is back with Saber Interactive at the helm. The people behind things like more recently John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, but also the excellent Space Marine 2. Saber Interactive's got their hands at a lot of different cookie jars, and they handle IP really well, intellectual property, licensed games. So it makes sense with this Stuntman Hollywood that it is featuring a lot of famous films with cars. We get to see Brian O'Connor's whip from Fast and the Furious, Kit from Knight Rider, the Back to the Future DeLorean time machine. There's a good amount of cool stuff going on here. Once again, in the framework of stunt driving, doing special tricks, getting everything perfect. We don't know too much more about this one, but I'm gonna be honest, I just personally really like this. This is a good revival of a classic franchise that I still think had more left in the tank. Next at number 9, I think a big theme of this State of Play in terms of announcements was release dates. We got release dates and updates for a lot of games we already knew about. First and foremost, Control Resonant, the sequel to Control, is releasing September 24th. We also now know that Dune Awakening is coming to PS5, and this is releasing September 22nd. Also, Onimusha Way of the Sword, Capcom's next big thing, finally has a release date of September 25th. Along with that, they announced that there's a demo available right now. I have played some of this demo area, I have experienced this behind the scenes, and it is pretty cool, so check it out. Also, Phantom Blade Zero was teased. They're going to announce more info in the summer, but we also now know that the release date has been moved to October 29th. Also, No Rest for the Wicked, the excellent kind of Souls-like Diablo mix, has been in development for a long time. It's coming out of early access, and with that, it's releasing on PS5 in October. We got a really cool trailer for Ace Combat 8 as well. These games are incredibly underrated, and they actually go all in on telling cool, crazy stories. It's not just an aerial dogfighting game. This one looks really interesting, and we now know it's releasing October 2nd. Also, last but certainly not least, Silent Hill Townfall, the kind of Silent Hill spin-off first-person horror adventure, is now slated for September 24th. So yes, you might be looking now at the calendar and thinking, wow, are all the big games of 2026 releasing in between September and October? Yes, you'd be absolutely right. It seems like everything and their mother is releasing just before Grand Theft Auto 6 releases in November. That's a lot of games, man, so let's move on to number 8. Until Dawn 2 was announced. Yes, Until Dawn is back. Sony is reviving this property, only this time without Supermassive Games working on it. Supermassive Games, of course, has gone on to do their own thing in a similar vein. This one is coming from Firesprite, a studio that's kind of done support work and work on smaller PlayStation games. Until Dawn 2 looks like it's like totally changing the environment, the setting, all that. No longer is it a snowy log cabin, but now a spooky, sexy, tropical island getaway. You got a bunch of young characters partying and smooching, and it seems like there's a guy on the island killing them all. In this, they did tease some very classic Until Dawn style split-second decision-making that'll affect the outcome of characters living or dying throughout this adventure. We also saw some famous video game voice actors featured in this as well. This one looks kind of weird to me, and Until Dawn without Supermassive does feel kind of weird, but the original creators of the franchise have moved on at this point, so I'm curious to see what New Blood will do with it. Next at number 7, we got a substantial look at Kemuri, a game that we previously knew about, but we hadn't seen too much of. This comes from a new studio called Unseen. Apparently this was founded by the Ghostwire Tokyo director, Ikumi Nakamura. She took to the stage to present this whole gameplay look. It's an action-focused game seemingly in this big sci-fi world, and or in 3-player co-op, you're running around and you're hunting yokai. You're apparently killing them and then using them for your looks and also for your abilities and movesets. And in terms of just like how these characters traverse the city and the scale of their attacks, it does look pretty crazy. Judging from the presentation, it doesn't sound like this one is coming soon, but at the very least, now we know a little bit more about what it actually looks like, what kind of game it is. Next at number 6, we got a new gameplay trailer for Ill. Once again, an incredibly gross, gory, strange first-person survival horror. They've used the word survival in some of their marketing, but it looks pretty action-focused to me, and it looks cool as hell. Really gory, really eerily, realistically unsettling. But also, it's just all about blasts and gross zombies and creatures. There's still a part of me, visually, this one looks kind of uncanny. It almost looks too good to be true, but it's been in the works for quite some time now. It's got a bigger publisher behind it, the publisher behind Atomic Heart. I'm also glad to see that it's not just all shock and awe. We've seen this game from the earliest iterations, these smallest little snippets, but now it looks like it's not just craziness and gore. They're actually trying to tell a story. We've seen some characters, some dialogue, some stuff just kind of setting the stage. That has me a little more curious as to what's actually going on here, other than like blood and explosions. And Ill is shaping up to be something kind of awesome and weird and strange. I'm excited to finally get my hands on it, and at the very least, now we know the trailer suggests sometime in 2027. Next at number 5, we have The Lost Wild. This game resurfaced after quite a few years. It's essentially a survival horror dinosaur game where you're trapped on this island and dinosaurs are hunting you. But the game is going for a bit more of an amnesia or alien isolation where it's more about you being hunted. You have to hide from these things. You have to avoid them. You have to work around these dinosaurs. And I'm surprised how creepy and moody and atmospheric this looks. In a world of Jurassic Park games and a bunch of weird crappy Steam dinosaur slop games, The Lost Wild looks like it could do something different and feel special and stand out. I'm hopeful for this one. It seems like it might be a cool experience, and as of right now, it's slated for sometime in 2027. Next at number 4, Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. We got a big flashy gameplay trailer suggesting, yes, this is a remake of the original classic Tomb Raider, but it's got a lot more going on. More characters, more action sequences, a lot of interesting stuff in terms of just how it plays. It looks like it feels like a mix between classic guns blazing Tomb Raider and some of the movement and rope swinging of the modern Tomb Raider games. But along with that, we saw a lot of cool scripted looking action sequences. The dinosaurs are there. Lara Croft looks more like the classic one. And I'll be honest, maybe it's because I'm a 90s gamer, but it's just cool to see Tomb Raider back in full form. As long as it's actually good. We won't know for sure until we play it, but now it has a new release date, February 12th, 2027. Now down at number 3, Ubisoft is remaking Rayman Legends with Rayman Legends Retold. This is gonna have a whole new area, new music, that fun couch co-op, all those levels. This game was like a critical and fan success, but they're changing the art style. They've gone with full 3D graphics. They've stepped away from the kind of almost like animated look, and I think that's a bold choice. I think it's a play to get more of a bigger audience, get more kids into it. I don't know. Look, I don't know how necessary this remake is, but at the very least, it's a remake of a good game. Ask anyone that's ever played Rayman Legends and they probably have something good to say about it. It's from 2013, so now this new version is releasing October 1st of this year. Now down at number 2, we finally got a look at what Sony Santa Monica Studios is working on. Their next game is another God of War game. It's God of War Laufey. This was the heavily rumored, leaked, whatever game where you play as Kratos' wife from God of War 2018, who at the start, of course, they burn her body on the funeral pyre. This seems to pick up directly after that, with Faye being transported into this like afterlife of the gods, which kind of looks like a battle world with all these gods from different mythologies battling it out, and you play as Faye with very God of War style combat, very new modern God of War style combat, but now centered around sword play, magic casting, and a lot of aerial attacks and cool finishers. It also seems like it's very much going to connect and intersect with Kratos and Atreus' adventures. This is an interesting one, and I'm curious to see how it's going to land with fans. Right, on the one hand, stepping away from Kratos is a bold move. You know, I don't know, but at the very least, it seems like Kratos is going to be involved in some way, and if it can give additional context to the previous game's story, that has some potential. The jury is still out for me personally right now, but at the very least, they were confident in this. They did show over like 20 minutes of gameplay. Combat looks solid, a good evolution of God of War 2018 to God of War Ragnarok to this. We also have companion characters this time around who are weird. I'm curious to see if they come off endearing or cringeworthy. gonna have to see the game. Also, this kind of afterlife for gods, there's a lot of potential for who can show up, and I think that's probably one of the more exciting things about this game, but I don't know. There's still a lot we don't know, especially structure. For as much gameplay that we did see, we don't know if this is going to be completely linear or something a little bit more open like Ragnarok, who knows. Despite them showing so much of the game, it doesn't have a release date. We don't know when it's coming. It does seem like information is trickling out now after the state of play, but for now, that's where we're at. Now down at number one of the biggest things, the star of the show, we got Wolverine gameplay. Insomniac's Marvel's Wolverine looks bloody and gory and crazy. The sequence we got to see was Logan himself donning the yellow suit, jumping in to fight some kind of cyberpunky looking mercenaries that were kidnapping mutants. Apparently this is like a kind of alternate world where mutants are all in hiding. The X-Men doesn't technically exist, but a lot of those characters are out there. Most notably, Jean Grey, who jumps into the fray and actually engages in combat with Wolverine. But the Wolverine combat itself looks awesome. It's brawler focused. It doesn't look like this massive, endless open world game. This looks like a cool action adventure where you're slicing and dicing, you're blocking, you're throwing dudes around, you're doing contextual hits, you're kicking dudes, you're stabbing through dudes, you're taking damage and healing, you're activating a rage meter. It's a lot of Wolverine stuff that we expected, but it just looks really, really thrilling this time around. You could listen to me yap about it here, or you could go watch the gameplay trailer for yourself. I think that definitely does it justice, from Insomniac's flourishes, to the way the claws flash as you do a finishing move, to the framing, the style, the scene transitions. It just looks like exactly what we were hoping for, right? That they were doing what they did for Spider-Man in the Spider-Man original game, now for Wolverine. Seems like a match made in heaven. Hopefully they nail it. Like I said, we've known about the release date for this one. It's releasing in September. Those were 10 of the biggest announcements, but there's a bit more that we couldn't fit into 10. First, Bancho the Chef. This is unexpected. This is actually a Dave the Diver spin-off prequel. It's another Dave the Diver sushi simulator style game. It's got a little bit more style and some cool music. We also got a new look at Marvel Tokuon featuring the Knights of Doom. So we saw gameplay with Dr. Doom, Green Goblin, Carnage, and Magneto. Also, this is small, but for me personally, they announced some new PlayStation classics coming throughout the summer. Onimusha, Dawn of Dreams, which is cool to see, especially with Onimusha like right around the corner. Also, Gitaru Man is coming back, the PS2 classic, as well as Psyops, the Mindgate Conspiracy. I never thought I'd see a game like this at a modern state of play, but here we are. Also, they announced Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered. This is a full re-release remake of the original 2001 game, and it looks really good now. Well, those are 10 of the biggest announcements, so let us know in the comments what you thought. We'd love to hear your reactions, what games caught your eye, if any. Please let us know, because it's always fun to... Please let us know, because it helps us figure out which videos on which games we should make. If you like this video, clicking the like button helps us out. We really appreciate it. And if you're new, consider subscribing, maybe hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.